predictable. The path of life can be discerned. And Jesus was in custody of a quality of life which was not known to man. It was the God kind of life. And so John was able to identify, and you see, John started the study. Are you with me? It's a PhD thesis. The book of John, St. John, PhD thesis. In the beginning was the Word. First of all, he discerned that there was a personality in the Godhead that was a compendium of the thoughts of God, a compendium of the wisdoms of God that was saddled with the responsibility of prosecuting the purposes of God. That's what the Logos meant. And this Word was with God, functions in the quadrant, in the conclave of the Godhead. Secondly, are you with me? So he wanted to study God as God. He discovered that the only way you can study God is through that personality called the Word. He wanted to study that personality as the Word, and he found he could not successfully do that, except that the only way to study that personality was to check the things he made, for all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. If we say we want to study creation, I'm a scientist, and I can tell you, last week there were some creatures in the aquatic habitat that were just discovered for the first time. We will never exhaust creation. So if you want to study God from the things he has made, time is not sufficient. So he reduced, can you see how he's reducing his thesis? Then he now reduced it again, the sample space, the focus, and said, all right, let's study him from the standpoint of his life. And that was the only thing that was possible. That was where he discovered that he was a carrier, a custodian of a kind of life that was not known to man. He was a custodian of Zoe. So everything that he did was a product of the life that he had. Are you with me? Oh my God. Have you taken time to study the end of that thesis? The book of John? The end of the thesis is in John chapter 20. And what he discovered after his studies, because he was able to crystallize 18 manifestations that were in the life of Jesus that pointed to the fact that he was not a man. There were 18. And that's the content of the book of John. If you do a good panoramic view through the book of John, you will find 18 manifestations in the life of Jesus that spoke about the civilization of operating in the realm of God, which is the calling for humankind, because humankind was created not after humankind, but after the God kind. And the example of how man can operate in the realm of God happens to be Jesus. And he's doing that and did that because he had a kind of life that no human had. So the book of John is the book of life, and the book of John discerns Jesus as the Son of God. We find that in the book of John chapter 20. Are you still with me? You see, the emphasis, the reason why I went through all of that trouble was to tell you the identity of Jesus in the book of John, the Son of God. The book of John studies Jesus from the standpoint of his life, and the conclusion was that he was the Son of God. Wait, okay, stay with me, stay with me. John chapter 20. Verse 30 and 31. And many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus Christ is what? Son of God. So you can stop there. So that's his identity from the lens of the book of John. Oh my God, you are lost again. Stay with me. The reason why Satan, the standpoint from whence Satan contended was his identity as son. If you are the son, that was Satan's contention. Are you there? Meanwhile, that was the Father's proclamation in the previous chapter. This is my beloved son. Do you realize that Satan is going to test you to see if you know who you are? Because many of you don't know who you are anyway. If you fail on the issue of identity, you cannot help this world. If you see Jesus rise from the hinder part of the boat and speak to the wind and say, peace, be still, you can never do that except you know who you are. Never. You can never exercise authority except you know who you are. So the devil came, and the devil's point of contention was his identity. If you are the Son of God. So Matthew saw the king, Luke saw the slave, Mark saw the slave, Luke saw the Son of Man, but John saw the carrier of the Zoe, who is the Son of God. I don't have time. I don't have time to... Are you following? No. If I go there now, it might distort a few things. So I will not go there. The Bible, may the Lord open, may the grace of God that makes you see your destiny in the pages of the Bible, may that grace descend upon you in the name of Jesus Christ. So that's what John saw. He saw the Son of God. And that is supposed to be the resultant effect from understanding the implication and the application of the life of God, which is our current operating system in the New Testament. Jesus came to John's baptismal service. Finished from there, went into the wilderness, and Satan showed up.